Hello, 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 and welcome back to another one of our streams. I'm gonna start off with some just chatting, and then we'll switch into some of the Minecraft. I hope you all are having a fantastic Monday, even though it's Monday. That's what I'm here for, to make the Monday ick go away. And congratulations, Jade, on getting the first redeem. Congrats. I hope you all are having fantastic time zones. Yes, I said that already, didn't I? Yes, I did. I hope your weekends were good. I had a pretty productive weekend. As you guys might have seen, I got a stream schedule out for this week. Ooh, how exciting, how exciting. So I actually have streaming plans for the week. We haven't had... Wait, what? Did it just... Can you guys see me? Because I also have a thing on my screen. It says I'm live, but also it says that OBS has crashed. Wait, what? Hello? When did OBS crash? Did you guys hear none of what I said? I can do it again. I can be hello. Everything okay? Everything good? You see me? We know no crash? Is my session gonna restart? No, it's still one stream. Okay, that's everything's good. Do I need to introduce everything again? No? Did it crash right after I said it crashed? Okay. Of course it did, because if I had just not pushed the button, then we might not have crashed. I got a little window on my screen that's like, oh, OBS has crashed. Do you want to send a crash report? And I hit no, and then OBS closed, and I was like, huh? Okay. Anyway, if that's the scuff that we have for today, then it's fine. Then everything is okay. That's a little bit funny, but you know what? It's fine. Everything's fine. Weekends. Let's talk about weekends. I got a stream schedule up. That's right. How exciting. Maybe I should bring it up on the stream for you guys to see. You had scuff today too. It's just one of those days. It just be one of those days where we have all the scuff. Let me look, image. I wasn't prepared for a just chatting part because I almost had issues with Minecraft today. Gasp, what? Yeah, I was trying to run it with shaders, and it was saying that it didn't exist. Our game save didn't exist. And I was like, well, that's not okay. So obviously, let's talk about this might just be a thing I start doing on Mondays, is go put it right there. This is a good spot. Yeah, okay. But first I need to move myself. I need to scooch. And then bam. So I got a stream schedule for this week. So as you can see, today is going to be Minecraft, unless you guys don't want that. Unless you guys don't want Minecraft, because I know how much you guys hate Minecraft. I just thought maybe we could do some Minecraft, but I could do something else if you guys absolutely don't want it. And that's fine if you guys don't want Minecraft, because I know how much you hate it. I know how much you all hate Minecraft. And then tomorrow we're gonna play some more of Ori and the Blind Forest. It's been a while since we played that. Basically what I did is I put up a spin wheel and how I picked what games to put on the spin wheel was to no, I'm joking, Jade. I was trying to get you guys to be like, no, we like Minecraft. What are you talking about? I was trying to tease you guys. We're playing Minecraft because I know you guys love it. Everything's fine. And then tomorrow we're gonna be doing Ori and the Blind Forest. Okay, wait, no. I hadn't done a stream schedule in a while, so I was just like, how do I pick what games to play? And I was like, well, what did I do before? And before I had all the games that we were playing on a spin wheel, and then I would spin it. And so what I did is I got up a spin wheel online because I don't own one. That'd be cool if I owned a physical spin wheel. Now I want one. But so I got the spin wheel. I went to my YouTube channel, looked at my playlist, and I put all the games in the spin wheel that we hadn't finished yet. And then I spun the wheel, and so this is the game order that we got. So Ori and the Blind Forest is tomorrow. If I remember right, it's like a little Metrovania type thing. And then after that is Jump King because why not? Because why not? Yeah, the Chisholm makes you take things literally sometimes. And then we haven't played Spiritfarer in a hot minute. It's been a while, so we got that for Friday, because I have Thursday's going to be my offline day. I think Sundays and Thursdays are going to be good days to have offline days. I'm going to try to do a thing Thursday where I do no screens. It's gonna be weird, but I think it might be good. Might be good to just make that like a fully offline day for me. And then on Saturday we will have Stardew. So that is our plan. I guess I don't need that anymore. Just make that go poof. Make that go poof. There we go. Yeah. Oh, and then I put my back. Yeah. Right where I belong. Oh my god, wait a minute. Hang on. I almost forgot to do a thing, didn't I? Wait, my throwing system's broken? Hang on. I was just about to make sure that we had our throwing stuff because I forgot to turn them back on, but then I also forgot to open it because it's new. It's not on yet. Did I toggle them on? Okay, no, they're still toggled off. Okay, good. Let me just make sure this is up. And then if I push this button... Did we see it? Okay, yep, there we go. Don't mind me throwing stuff at myself. Just trying to make sure everything's working, everything's good. I know what I'm doing. I'm a streamer. I got everything under control, obviously. There we go. I was trying to get shaders to work, but it wasn't working. It kept saying that our game world didn't work, but every time I loaded up Minecraft without the shader, because I was trying to do it through CurseForge, so I'll have to figure it out later. I didn't give myself enough time before stream to figure it out because I didn't think I was going to have any issues, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll do shaders next week with Minecraft. It's fine. I'll figure it out after stream. I'll figure everything out if I remember. I'll probably remember. I have sticky notes all over my desk about stuff I have to remember. I have a pile of sticky notes that have just accumulated, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I need to organize these because I'm not actually looking at them because they're in a pile. Too many sticky notes. I need to reorganize my sticky notes. Oh, goodness gracious me. I try, but sometimes, I threw my mouse. I didn't mean to. I just moved my hand over it and I knocked it over. That's what happens when you have vertical mouses. They're actually really good for you. Really good for, like, if you use the computer a lot, you should use a vertical mouse because it's better for your wrist. It can help not make carpal tunnel as bad. Like, obviously, if you use the computer a lot, you're probably going to get it anyway, but it'll help. It'll help. It'll be very good. Very nice. So now you guys can throw stuff at me. Look, I have a button so I can throw one item. It's going really fast right now. Don't know why. I wonder if I can turn down the speed for that. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Minecraft. So today we will be doing some Minecraft. I did a little bit of off-camera organization. I made most of the island moss because we want a moss island. And then I moved our stuff from the nether roof to the actual island. And I get to show you guys that. I didn't finish making the island moss because I ran out of bone meal. And I wanted to go over our plans in the Minecraft once we switched to the Minecraft. But I wanted to do a little bit of chatting today. I was productive. I was productive with the stream schedule. For those of you who might not have noticed, because it's been a hot minute since I've had a stream schedule, I did make it a little bit more prettier, a little bit more fancy. It took me about an hour because putting those little flower decorations in the right way to look like they were actually to make them look good. It took me a while. It took me a minute because I'm not a graphic designer or anything like that, but I did eventually do it, and it was all pretty and it was all nice, and then I was very proud. I changed some of the shapes a little bit, and I changed the font to make it fancy. So it looks nice. Yeah, it's all fancy, and I'm very proud. Go drink some more water. Delicious. Water is so good. So good. Make sure you guys drink water. I hope you guys got some good snacks and stuff, because I plan to stream for a little bit, because I want to get more back into streaming for longer times. And as soon as I start doing that, maybe I'll get a call back on a job. I do have a plan, though, now. Because, like, I was stressing about not having a job, but then someone told me, it was like, oh, do you have, like, a car? And I was like, yeah, I have a car. They're like, you should consider, like, Spark driving or Uber Eats. And I was like, I'm a fucking dumbass. Because I totally forgot. Like, obviously people do that. And I literally never even considered it, even though I've used, like, DoorDash before. I just didn't even consider doing it myself because I don't know. Whenever I think work, I think about being an employee. But if I'm doing, like, the driving, the thingamabob, I can literally just choose my own hours. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to talk to my dad. We're going to have to talk to Dad dear, because it'll be a different tax form, unfortunately. It'll be self-employment tax form. So I'll have to talk to him. He knows stuff. He's smart. He'll help me. Very, very good. We have good Dad dear. Yes, we do. He's great. What is that? So I have a plan at the very least. Not exactly stable income, but it'll be something, nonetheless. And so I'm just basically gonna still be trying to get a normal job, because I don't know, not having a stable income makes me a little bit, with a little bit anxiety and all that stuff. But it's gonna be okay. At the very least, now I have something that I'll be working towards, and if you guys hear a popping sound in the background right now, that is because I am playing with a fidget. I'm playing with a poppet ball. Just thought I would acknowledge that, because I just realized that, because, well, for those of you who can't tell, I have ADHD. What? Wow. Yeah, so yes, I'm using a fidget while we're doing just chatting, because my hands are not busy. Anyways, what was I talking about? I have a plan with being able to, get the monies. I have a plan. And I'm very excited to have flexible work hours. Best case scenario, I get a work from home job, but it's very hard to get one of those when you don't have a college degree and you're just a little guy like me. But that's fine. Everything's fine. It's going to be good. I have a plan at the very least, and yeah. So I'm a little less stressed about that now, and I haven't been able to tell my dad yet, but I'm excited to tell him, because he's the person who I go to when I have issues, because You know, whenever I stress it, I'll be like, Dad, and then he'll be like, I'll make it all better by talking you through it, and then it's all good. Hype, yes, hype. Yee. I need to get a pop emote because I would love to have one of those. I would absolutely love to have one of those. Oh my gosh, that'd be so nice. Oh, I can go over some stuff that I went to, hang on. I gotta open it up because I have a sorry, I just changed, browsers. I just changed browsers because, Google Chrome is heavy on usage or something. And, so I'm using a new browser and everything is different. I didn't organize it before I did stuff. And now I'm fumbling. I'm fumbling around. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, so I got my list of stuff. All right. So, you guys know I got a 2D model. It's in the making. It's on its way. Gasp, how exciting. Yes, that's right. However, as I mentioned before, I'm not just going to debut it as soon as I get it because I want to do it justice. I want to make it a whole event. And so, I'm also going to need to get overlays. What? Overlays? No way. No way. Yes, overlays. And who am I going to get them from? Blue and Gihan, obviously. And then I also need Twitch panels. I don't have that on my list, but it should be on my list. Who am I going to get that from? Blue, obviously. Have you seen her panels? They're so cute. Let's see. And I want to get a new schedule from her, too. Because make the art. She does the art, and it's so pretty. Look at her art. It would be cool to get a new Minecraft skin, but I'm not going to make that... It's not a requirement. It's not a requirement for the debut of the 2D model. Here, let me make that two separate lists, because it's in the same list. It's in the... Let's see, requirements for 2D debut. Yep, okay, now it's two different lists. Alright. Perfect. Now, okay. I have a couple of things that because I have like a Google Sites for streaming stuff, and so I got like a 2D list, plans and whatnot. I had because we talked about it in stream last time. I mentioned it about 24-hour stream. I think it was Nep who mentioned it first. So I did start making a list of stuff that I could do for a 24-hour stream. So I got a couple of games, couple of things that I want to start. I want to start doing a couple of things. But they're not ready. Let's see. Got possible games to collab, but I need to talk to people first. But I'm not ready for that stuff yet because I don't have all the stuff for it. Once I get closer to having all the stuff, I'll start reaching out to my friends, talking to them, be like, hey, who wants to collab with me while I stream for 24 hours and absolutely wreck my brain because I'm going to be awake. Because my plan is to do as few BRBs for as shortest amount of time as I can. So what I will be doing is making sure that I have quick and easy food that I could either microwave or is supposed to be eaten cold, like chicken salad or whatever. That way I can grab it, come back to the desk, sit down and eat, and then keep streaming. I'm not sure how practical that is, but that is my current goal. Yeah. Oh, wait. Hang on. I need Twitch alerts. Let's see. So, I know Blue doesn't have, like, super fancy drawn Twitch alerts on her stream because hers is, like, the was it Gojo? No, it's not. It's not, what's the word? Jojo? Yeah, Jojo. It's like that Jojo and it has, like a face slapped on top of it or something. But I think it would be fun to have custom Twitch alerts, but I don't think I necessarily need them for the 2D debut because like we got them as our little deer emotes right now, which is they're cute. I think they're good. I think they're cute. Look at them. Look at these emotes. That's not all of them that we have for the alerts, but I think those are good. And I don't think I need custom alerts in order to do justice to the 2D model. I think just getting the new overlays and the Twitch panels, that's gonna be what I need. It would be fun to get a TTS fixed and then a PNG, but that's not... I have that on a to-do list, but it's not needed for the debut at all. I have custom emotes on the list, but I don't think that's necessary because my emotes right now aren't even of me. They're Eevees. They're Eevees and then just generic deers. So I don't think that's necessary for the debut. Nah, I think that's fine. I did want to start a Patreon, and along with that I wanted, because with Patreon you can give Discord, like you can make a private Discord channels in your server. So for those of you who are subs, you might be able to see the sub only channel. Yes, that's right, there's a sub only channel in the Discord. It doesn't have much use right now. However, I want to combine Patreon and sub only with the in the Discord. However, the sub only area will have a little less stuff because I get less money from subs, and so it'll be more rewards for the Patreon only. But I don't have like a super great list of stuff for Patreon yet. The only things that I have on it is possibly a Minecraft server, but I think I would also allow that for subs as well, I think. And then I have something listed for tier 3, and it's just cosplay. And I'm like, cosplay? And then I realize, yes, I have cosplays. However, that would only work if I got a mask, because I don't have a mask right now. And you guys don't get to see my human face. No, you don't get to see it. But the mask that I want to get is expensive because it's a custom handmade mask that you can wear with glasses. That way I don't have to put contacts in. And it's expensive. So if I was going to do that, I would need to get the money for that. So, but I need to look at other people's Patreons, see what they have on their Patreons, and see what you guys would want on it before I even try to do that. So, there's that. Oh, that's just... And I was like, what's this? I have my old subathon stuff on this thing too. We don't need that. That's old news. But yeah, I think a 24-hour stream for 2D model debut would be a lot of fun. It will be a lot of fun. I'm not sure exactly what all I will be doing when I do that, but I know my friends will help me a little bit because you know, they're great. I love my friends. I got to hang out with Blue and Gihan yesterday. I love being their neighbor. I love spending time with them. They're so great. Sometimes it really does feel like they're just my mother and father. I'm just like, I have so many questions just about stuff, just normal everyday stuff, and then they answer them, and I'm just like, yay! And they do it in a way that's just like, oh yeah, we'll help you learn the stuff, and it feels good. It feels good because I know that there have been people in my life before I was like, ask a question because I need clarification. They're like, really? But Blue and Gihan, they're like, oh yeah, I'll help you, and I'm just like, oh, I feel so good learning about the stuff that I don't know about. So it's nice. It's been nice. Surrounding myself with good people. They're good people. And I really love them. So excited. Oh my gosh. Every time I think about them, I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're married. Oh my gosh. So exciting. I love them. I guess we should switch to Minecraft now because I don't know what else to talk about. I didn't really have a plan for the Just Chatting screen, but I was just like, Blue does a Just Chatting stream, and Blue is goals because she's a great streamer. I want to be more like her, and she usually starts with Just Chatting, and it usually works out for her, I think. And so now we're going to switch to Minecraft. So let me just Minecraft. Change my thing. Oh no, I lost tracking. Come back to me. Hello? Okay, hang on. I need to reset my tracking because it lost tracking and then I wasn't lined up right. And I'm just gonna reposition myself okay. Okay, everything's fine. Everything is under control. Everything's good. Everything is fine. Properties. I almost forgot to switch the game capture to Minecraft. Got to keep track of the tracking. Exactly. All right. Here we go. So, I did a little bit of work on our island. So that's the second island over there, not our home island. And then we're on our island. You can see some sugar cane. I put it down. It's moss. Not all the way yet. It's not all the way mossified. But I got some sugar cane planted down because the flattening out it was boring. I watched TV while I did it, and I got our chest set up, and I got a little bit of farms started. Oh yeah, this is our moss chest. This is our woodsy chest, and then this is our dirt. This is the dirt from me flattening out this because, you know, we had a little bit of a hill over there, and then this was a little bit like, nyeh. So this is our dirt. I almost too full, chest full, and then there's our stone, which was actually really close too. And here's the other stuff. We actually had a little bit of clay, which is a little bit surprising. There was a little bit of clay. And this is the stuff that we brought with us, so I brought the stuff over there. Oh, there was a little bit of coal. That's from our adventuring. We found those on our adventuring. That was from adventuring. I think I got all the stuff from... Oh, these are for water, I think. Yep, that's right. No! That's not what I meant to do! My goodness gracious me. Can I put the... Damn it. I deleted the water. I didn't mean to delete the water, for goodness sakes. I wanted to put it on top of the water. There we go. I'll just grab some more water. Oh! Yeah, I got some cherry wood growing because we're gonna need that. Because I want to make a tree. I want to make a big old tree. And then I gathered up our mushrooms into here. You might ask, hey, what is this for? It's for when I breed them, I can lure the babies to this side with hay and then close that off. And then I just have the adults on one side. And then I can acquire leather. And I moved our portal. I moved our portal from the top of the mushroom into the mountainside. I didn't make it completely flat because I thought that would be boring. Where did I... What? Oh, I was using... Okay, I guess some of the dirt that I was destroying. We still have our normal cow over here. I thought we had two, though. Don't really know. I think that cow might have murdered the other cow. We're just gonna walk away from the cow. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I want to do. I was thinking that we could have our storage system on the roof of the Nether. What? Okay. Yeah. So basically I was thinking we'd have like 4 portals. There'd be one more here. I only have 3. And it would be like... There would be 4 portals making kind of a square thing. Just imagine there's another piece of dirt here. And then we'd have like the different areas to go forth on the Nether roof. And all the 4 portals would just connect to that portal that we have in the mountainside there. And then we'd be able to just have we'd have the storage system, but we'd also have a way going up from in between the portals to get on top of the storage system. And then we would have our Nether transport thing. You know, the highway. I would like to get some, the blue block, the prismarine. Yes. Though I think we want to make the farm at the other one because the other one's a little bit closer to the, oh, the bamboo's gotten tall. To the, island. Here, I'm going to just shove this in. Oops, wrong chest. There we go. So there's a couple, we're going to get a lot of sand for that. I do have all my coordinates here. Wait, do we have any more obsidian? Because it would be great if we could just go to the coordinates on the roof of the nether, pop on down, and then grab the stuff. Okay. I don't have any dripstone to make an infinite lava source. So I guess what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go down into mine areas. I'm going to leave this axe here. Oh, I do have some obsidian. Actually, we don't need to do that now. Forget what I just said. So, for a portal, it's... What's the minimum size of a portal? Is it 3 or 2? How big is this portal over here? Excuse me. 3. Okay, so it's 3, and then... 5? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I have... Wait. Now I have to hang on. Minecraft, smallest nether portal. Oh, 2. Okay, 2 on the bottom. It says 4 by 5. So it's 2 and then 3 on either side. Okay, I made this portal slightly bigger than it needs to be. So it's 1, 2. So I'll need that twice. Okay. Wait, where are my head pads? Why are my head pads not working? Wait, what? Why are my head pads not working? I forgot to open Mix It Up. No, it's not gonna work now. It only works if you open it before OBS. Oh, no. Right? Did they update it maybe? Hang on. Hang on. I broke. Everything's broken. Everything's... Why is OBS... Don't minimize. God, that scared me. Made me think it crashed. Don't do that. Again. Made me think it crashed again. Because it already crashed once today. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna see if just opening it made it work, and if not, I'll give you your points back. Is it gonna work? Okay, it's broken. I'll give you your points back. And I'll turn that off. Because otherwise we're just gonna have issues. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have everything broken. No, don't leave. I gave you your points back. Just give me a second. Look, there are 2 things that we can do. I could just turn them off, or... What was that? It's, I love you. Don't go. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Look. There's a couple things that we could do. One, we can just suffer and let me have all these things turned off. Or I can try to be fast as fuck and I can close OBS, reopen it, and hope it's the same. And hope it's on the same stream thing. Thank you for the boobs. Thank you for my boobs. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Let's see, your name is Evie? Hello. Wait, I think I only have 2 redeems that's reliant on Mix It Up. And that is the head pats. Because throw is through something else, so head pats and ear wiggles would just be turned off. Yeah, okay, we'll just have those 2 turned off for now. It's fine, it's fine, everything's fine, everything's under control. What? Nothing's broken. We're not panicking. Everything's fine. I didn't actually pause the game. Ooh, that's spooky. Let's, okay, we got some trees grown. That'll be good. That'll be nice. Let's make it daytime. Let's make it daytime real quick. Just go boop. What favorite? No, it's not. My favorite Eevee is Sylveon, which is not why my name is Sylvia. It's actually kind of hilarious because my name is Sylvia, because at the time when I came up with the name, that spooked me. Sylvia means from the forest. So, it means from the forest, and it just so happens that my favorite evolution is Sylveon, and it worked out. Yeah. Leafeon, yes, I think Leafeon would be my second favorite. Okay, I just need to do a little bit of a calculation, and by that, okay, so we need sand. If we want to get the ocean monument, we need sand. So, shattered savanna, ice, turtles, mushrooms, ocean, village. I have everything written down. Archaeology spot, coral reef, desert. Okay, desert. Okay, so I need to go Minecraft chords, nether, calculator. Perfect. So, the overworld coordinates for our desert. Hey, wait a minute, it worked. Wait a minute. That's my mix it up. It worked. Wait a minute. Hang on. If that worked, will head pads work? Okay, so my commands work, but the 2 redeems I have through Mix It Up are broken. Lovely. Hey, at least the commands work. That's nice, at the very least. All right, so we're going to go to the desert. So it's -353. And then -1727. And so where we need to go, according to this calculator, is -45, -216. Got it. Sweet! I should have done this before stream. But you know what? It's fine. It's your 5th? Whoa, 5th language. I only know 1. That's impressive. I will bear with you. I'll try to English as properly as I can. But I'm pretty terrible at it myself, even though it's my only language. Alright, we'll put that away. And so, if we go into our coordinates, we need to get to -45. So that's basically -50, -200. Alright, so we need to go positive negative. So positive x, negative z. Positive x, negative z. This way! It's my most spoken, but you know, when it's your brain decides to I forget words all the time. I forget my own words, how to say words. It just, words, issues. I have issues with words. I don't know if I should keep this up to make sure that we don't go too far. I guess there's nothing else to look at in the nether, so... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not making a path. I'm gonna get lost. I need a path. Okay, there's my portal. I can see my portal. Okay, so it turned back around. Negative, positive X. Okay, okay, okay. We're gonna have a path now. I gotta make sure I don't get lost. Because I'm gonna get lost. Arceus? Arceus. Is that a Pokemon? You're not a DD and you're simply a llama stuck in a fence? Mood. That's such a mood. Let's go more this way for now because we need that number to get a lot less for that. The god of all Pokemon. I've never actually played a Pokemon game before, so my Pokemon knowledge is very limited. I just love Eevee. I've seen people play Pokemon games before, but I haven't. Huh? Wait, what biome? I'm in a warped forest right now? Yo, that's so cool. What an achievement to get when you're on the roof of the Nether. I mean, I played Pokemon Go, but that doesn't count. I don't feel like that counts. That doesn't count. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. Like a VTuber, I did create it myself. I made it on Vroid. Thank you so much. So Vroid is a free application you can use on Steam. There are a couple of assets that I bought on like Etsy and Booth to just help me with the progress of it. Because even though Vroid has a lot of presets and it's a lot better than it used to be, for one, because it used to be a lot more difficult to use. They didn't have, when I first tried to use it, they had no hair presets, which is crazy. This is perfect. We're in the exact spot we need to be. So, 1, 2. Did I bring my flint and steel? Okay, thank God. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So, my model. Boom. Yeah, look at me go. Thank you so much for the follow. Nuge player. I don't know if I said that right. The dress I did buy on Booth. I bought it on Booth. Because drawing the outfits is a little bit difficult. So, meow, meow, meow. The hair is very cool. I did the texture myself. The texture itself is simple. But, yeah. It's pretty cool. They've had a lot of updates. So you can, if you are interested in streaming, VTubing, but you don't want to, because obviously models are expensive. Models are expensive. Especially if you want to get a good model. And I do recommend getting a good model. If you're going to buy a model, get a good one. But you can make a good looking one for free pretty good. You can draw. No, I can't draw. This is just the texture is like just a couple of lines, really. It's not really drawing, I don't think. Just the hair. So someone else did the outfit. Aha! Desert. I didn't bring any tools to mine my desert. Hello, Void. I hope you're having a good day. Let's see. Looks cool. We got yes. You'll do it for free. Oh, that's crazy. Free models. That's crazy. I am in the process of getting a 2D model. It's currently in the works of being drawn because it's almost been 2 years since I've been streaming. So I didn't want to buy one before I started streaming because I wanted to make sure I like streaming. And I do like streaming. Streaming is a lot of fun. I like streaming. I like talking with you guys. And so it's good. So I got a 2D one. It's in the process of being drawn. It's very cool, very nice. Some of my friends are doing it. They're great. Love them. You had to play a drop from your campaign? Oh no. Oh, but you got a new one. Whoosh, whoosh. D&D can always be tough when you have people drop. Friend who's willing to craft one for me. Ooh. Yeah. Well, a good 2D model will run you at least $2,000 for art and rig. And I do recommend getting art and rig from the same person because like they'll know where they need the layers and stuff. So the people who I'm getting mine are actually a couple. They're married. They're actually my friends, but I met them through streaming. So it's very cool. I met them through streaming. They're amazing people. I love them. So Gihan is the one who does the art, and he actually he did some art teaching. So he was an art teacher at one point in his life. So he can actually do multiple different art styles, and that's very, very cool. And then his wife, I get very excited when I get to say that because I got to go to their wedding. His wife does the rigging, and it's really, really cool. His wife, Blue. I loved him. I loved him so much. I don't think I have any mods here at the moment. I'll give them each a shout out once I get out of the nether just real quick because they're great. They're great. I loved them. 2,000. Oh yeah, that might be a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna give them each a shout out because first of all, they're my friends, but second of all, they are going to be my 2D model mama and papa. So I'll do Gihan first. He's doing the art because that's the first thing you see.
Oh, come on.
Flopping like a fish.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up.
Oh, that's his old model. He has a new model now.
Gihan, move to the right. Like walk to the right.
Okay, walk to the right. All right.
He's cool.
Yeah.
I need shovels. I need a lot of shovels. Probably don't need my water bucket. Ooh, I need more bread.
Because that side's like, yeah.
I'll just take like a stack of stone, and then I'll just take like a bunch of sticks.
Yeah. Okay. Now we need to center it. Now we need to center it.
Okay.
You see what I'm trying?
Yeah.
There we go. I think my clip player's having issues. It has issues sometimes.
Okay, left.
If I click on OBS, usually it works. Yeah, funerals in the West are usually a bit sad because we're sad that we don't have the person anymore. But I think we say in the Asian, yeah, so they usually celebrate their life. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. But yeah, we get sad when we can no longer see the person. And then here's Blue. She does the rigging and it's awesome. Oh no, she's doxxed! Don't look! She used to be a flesh tuber. I don't even know what she said because I panicked. She used to be a fleshy, but now she's a VTuber. Abandoned flesh, become anime. Yeah, I think... Well, I might need more food before I go, actually. I only have 6 pieces of bread. So this is a little bit of wheat. Put down my more seeds. I only got 2. That one doesn't look like it's done yet. Where's my... Ah, okay, so I do have a little bit more. So I can make a little bit more bread. I need a better farm. I need more... Need more food. Need more food! You wear the skin of a pumpkin. Pumpkin. Become robotic. Oh no! Well, you could become a robot VTuber. One of my friends is a robot VTuber. They're pretty cool. They're also getting a new model, but they draw it because they're an artist. So they're doing it themselves. So that's pretty cool. Alright, well follow the torches to the land of sand. So we can get ready for our ocean monument. Yeah. I don't really... I don't really know what design I want to go for our storage area. So I know that I want to... I know that I'm going to need the ocean monument. I'm going to need to section it off of sand. That is the only thing I know about making this farm. Because my Minecraft knowledge is pretty limited, but it's okay. Console player. Ooh. Yeah, console... Streaming through consoles can be a little bit difficult. But sometimes it's nice to just pretend. You can just pretend you're a robot. Play pretend. I like how it becomes like blue when we're in the warped forest, so that's really nice. I'm probably just gonna end up following a tutorial for the farm. All I know is that I need sand and a lot of it. So that's what we're doing right now. We're gonna get some sand. I'm gonna need more obsidian for... Wait, what? Is that an Enderman? Oh, I pissed him off. Oh, I killed him! Guys, I'm a pro! Look, I got some warped nylium, and I don't even have silk touch. I'm a pro! I'm a pro! I'm gonna kill you too! Ha! Look at that! I'm unstoppable! Oh, my shield is really damaged now. Minecraft baby in a furnace? What? I got an M pearl. I don't... Oh, I'll need it later. I don't need it right now, but I'll need it later for when I go to find the end. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll need help eventually, because I'm a dumbass. But also, with the ADHD, it makes you go, huh? What? What was going on? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's nighttime. That's not good. But I want to go look at that. I want to go look at that. I don't know if I checked this out. Because when we were exploring originally, I can't remember what all we looked at and didn't look at. Because we were just looking for a cherry blossom. And we spent like 3 hours finding everything else but a cherry blossom. We even found an archaeology spot. We even found a mesa. Mesa has a way like smaller chance to be found. And we found that before cherry blossoms. That was crazy. I can't remember if this is one that we've seen yet. Oh, it has a bell. I want that. We'll probably come back here for the obsidian because we're gonna need more portals for our roof. I'll do that off stream though, because you guys don't want to watch me mine obsidian. That's boring. We did find a cherry blossom biome, but it was the smallest cherry blossom biome ever. It was like, oh, that's not good. Maybe I should not. Maybe I should go get a bed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe I should go get a bed. Maybe I should go get a bed for while I'm doing this. Shit. There's everything everywhere, and I hate it. Let me through, 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 let me through! Oh! I made it. I made... Why am I in... What? Hunger? Why do I have hunger? It's because I got hit by a zombie? Whatever. Let's go get a bed. Wait, I don't think I have any sheep. I think I only have the single bed. I'll bring it with me. It's fine. Oh, I can't do it in the roof, though. That'd be bad. Is that the best fuse agent style builds? Yeah. Yeah. They can be. Pink. You could use the pink trapdoors for, like, flower planterns and stuff. But, yeah, otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard. You can, like, really use it for very small decorations. You can have pink plates with the pressure plates. I use pressure plates for decorations. I'm going to be making a tree. So we're going to be using the bark. We're going to be using the bark of it. I can't believe I forgot. You see... Our base is a mushroom biome. You can't tell because I covered it in moss. It's a mushroom island, so we don't get mobs there. And so I forgot. I forgot that it's danger. Danger zone. Yeah, use it for decor. Yeah. We're gonna be making a big old tree. I'm excited to make the tree. We need more food. This is a lot of back and forth, but This is what happens sometimes when you're just a little guy who doesn't know what they're doing. A little guy who doesn't have a plan. No plan for me. A giant... No. If he wants to build something, he has to do it himself. Don't make the god do it. Yeah, I'm gonna add one more. Just because I can. You know, we have a cow, but we don't have... You know... We could go look for a sheep. Do I have an extra lead? How many leads do I have? I might only have 1 lead. How did I get a lead? Did I get it from the... So we have our mushroom cows. Whoop! Are we lagging because things need to load in? Here, I'm gonna turn down my video settings. There we go. There, now it has to load less every time we come back. Wow. Yeah, we found 2 mushroom islands right next to each other, so that's pretty dope. Beb. We sleeps. Ooh, Dwarven Fantasy? That's nice. Ooh, with the Caves and Cliffs update, you could just, instead of making it into the side of a mountain, you can make the dwarven stuff inside of a cave. Gonna put those... I don't really know where else to put those for now, so I'm just gonna put those there. Do I have leads? Okay, I do have an extra lead. So what we're gonna need to do is... Do we really need a normal cow when we have... We have mushrooms. And you can easily turn mushrooms into normal cows with shears, so we don't need this cow. I am going to try to bring him into the overworld, but if he decides to not, then he's just going to live on the roof. It broke. Aha! Alright, so he's over there now. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow this path, because this path takes us to like a green area. So, we're going to find 2 sheep. We'll take them back to our base. We'll shear them. I don't have any shears. I need to make some shears. Because I want to shear them and then take them back. Because I don't have grass on my island. I have moss. I do have a single grass block that is floating because there was a couple of blocks on our island that wasn't mushroom biome. It was deep ocean, and so the block itself became... Whoa. We're lagging. Okay, I need you to do. Thank you so much for the follow. Ed Scap Unleaf. Wait, no. I don't want that there. I'm just gonna put the cow in here for now. I'm just gonna... Excuse you. I'm just gonna... Put you in here. For now. There. Wait, where's my other... Oh, I accidentally put it down here. Alright, okay, placing carpets is a little bit harder than it looks. Alright, so... I don't know why he's here if my portal's on the roof of the nether. Oh, hey, sugarcane grew. I'll just grab this real quick. I don't need all of it. I just need... There you go. Aha! I just need 2 pieces, I think, and then... Okay, now we have shears. Alright, we're good. We're good. Everything's good. There we go. You still want to go into the deep dark? Yeah, that actually is scary. The deep dark, you won't find an ancient city unless you're at a mountain biome, but it would be cooler to have a cave that's under a mountain. Yeah. Yeah, that does make it a little bit rough. There are some caves that don't go down to the deep dark, but it might be a little bit harder to find them. We got 2 pieces of bread. That's not good. I need to get more food. Which means I'm gonna need a farm. Yep. I got a little bit of wheat, but it's not a lot of wheat. And I only have mushrooms, but I could make some of them. I could make some of them normal cows by shearing them. Hello, Ed. Hello. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the follow again. Yeah. Here we go. Eat some more bread. So, oop, wrong button. We gotta go fast. We gotta go fast. We're zooming. We're zooming. We're gonna get the sheep. We're gonna get the sheep, and then we'll make a bed that we can make in we already we need a bed. So we have our bed at our base, but we need a bed for when we're at the desert. I want to put an emergency chest at the spawn location, but did I write down my spawn coords? Nope, doesn't look like I have my spawn coords on this list. I should have wrote down my spawn coords. Oh well. We got these. We're gonna find 2 sheep immediately, and then we'll be able to shear them, and we'll take them back, and it'll all be good. It'll all be good. Thank you so much for the follow, Scully. Hope you're having a good day. Welcome to the forest. Okay, so I don't have any more torches. I guess I don't really need the torches as long as I have these, because nothing can spawn on here anyway, because those are slabs. They're not blocks, so nothing can spawn on the slabs. We're just going to keep on trudging forward. Keep on trudging forward. We get these. Thank you so much for the follow. Linkled? Hope I said that right. Words can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So this portal leads to where our cherry blossom biome is. So I say that, but it's really small. It's not really even worth being called. Words not be wording today? Yee, words. Alright, so, cow, we need a sheep. See, cherry blossoms. That was my failed attempt at trying to get on the roof of the nether. That goes all the way to block height. Fun fact, you cannot get on the roof of the nether simply by making a portal at block height. I know. Aha! There's a sheep. I knew they were around here somewhere. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 2 sheep. 1 sheep, 2 sheep. Come here, little sheep. All right, I got 2 sheep. I'm gonna eat some of this real quick. And then, oops. Okay, so I can't have them leaded when I shear them. That's fine. Because now I got the wool I need. You guys want to eat some grass before we go? Because otherwise you're gonna be a little bit chilly. Well, I guess we're going to the nether. You won't be that cold. You coming? The naked sheep. Eat grass. Do it. Do it. Do it. Eat the grass. Good sheep. Now you sheep. Good sheep. Okay, now we can go to the nether. Because we got 4 and we only needed 3. Because we just needed enough wool to make a mobile bed, but who knows if we want to build with wool later. Okay. Perfect. I don't know if my leads broke on this. Okay, they broke on the other side. That's fine. We got this. Okay, here's one. Whoop. Whoop. Perfect. Sylvia, why are you getting sheep? Well, because I need sand from the desert. ADHD. We need sand from the desert, so I went and got sheep. Because that makes sense. Can I run with them? I want to run with them. Because it'll be faster. I don't think if I run jump, I think that might be too fast. I think run jumping might be a little bit too fast. We got sheeps. Sheeps for days. Yeah. I think I'll make my bed in a little bit of a safety spot. So what is this? You just randomly stumbled here. So I am Sylvia. I'm a tree spirit, but I've taken on the form of a deer girl because who wouldn't want to be a deer girl? I mean, come on. And I like to play video games. Right now we're playing Minecraft. We had to start a new world because we lost our old world. It was very sad. But you know what? It's going pretty well, I think. We found a mushroom island to be our base that we covered in moss. We're gonna build a giant tree. We got some sheep because we needed sheep to make a bed, because we needed a bed, because we're going to be in the desert getting sand. Why do we need sand? To make an ocean monument farm. Because there are two, not one, but two ocean monuments on either side of our mushroom islands, because we found two mushroom islands like right next to each other, and then there's an ocean monument on either side of them. So we got two ocean monuments. We're only going to make one into a farm, I think. Two might be a little bit excessive, unless there would be a spot that I could stand to let both of them work at the same time. But I think they might just be a little bit too far away for that to work. But you know what? We can make one into a farm, and then the other one we could empty out and transform and make something really cool, you know? So that's what I'm planning on doing. But you never know what we're going to actually end up doing, because I have ADHD and I get distracted. Wow. Like sheep. Like, we're trying to make an ocean monument farm, so we kidnapped a couple of sheep. Because that makes sense. It makes sense once you go through the steps of the process, but it doesn't when you just say it like that. Yeah, we got really, really lucky. You see, what happened is I wanted to make my build in a cherry blossom biome, because the tree that I'm a tree spirit from is a weepy cherry blossom, because it's very pretty. Anyway, I did not choose the seed. We got incredibly lucky. So I don't remember where we spawned. I think it was whatever. It wasn't plains. I think it was like just a normal forest biome. And well, I was just like, okay, now we have to find a cherry blossom biome. And so we started adventuring. The first thing we found was a shattered savanna, because that's the first thing on my list here. And so I'm assuming that's the first thing we found. So that's cool. We wrote down the coords for that, because my notes here say elytra core. So that's going to be really cool. The second thing we found was an ice biome. So I was like, sweet, that'll be great for when we make our nether highway. That'll be really convenient. So we had an elytra course that would eventually happen. And are they not going to go into the portal? Hua! Oh, one of the sheep willingly went through the portal. Lovely. Can you come this way? Perfect. So we got ice, so that'll be really, really good for when we make our nether highway. Where's my other lead? There it is. Where's my... Oh, there you are. There you are. Now, another really lucky thing about this Mushroom Island is that not all the blocks were a Mushroom Island biome. You see, we got some grass over here, and that's because at the very edge of the island, I didn't finish making it moss. At the very edge of the island, there were a couple of spots over here that were grass blocks because they were deep ocean biomes, so they spawned as grass blocks. So we actually have grass on our island that we can trail to our sheep later. I can't run. Hang on. I think my potatoes are ready to be plucked, so I will... Okay, I don't want to eat the potatoes yet because I want to cook the potatoes. But I want to replant the potatoes so I can have more potatoes. Because potatoes... Potato, 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 potato. Alright, so... 5. Boop. Potato, 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 Wait a minute. There we go. I didn't realize that I had that. Let's sleep. Carrot? I don't think I have any carrots. I don't think I... Did I find any carrots? Do I have any carrots in my... It doesn't look like I have any carrots available to me yet. I found a couple of golden carrots along my travels, but I don't think you can plant those. Yeah, that'd be really interesting if you could. I need some planks. Ah, okay, perfect. So we're gonna make a bed. So we can have a bed in the desert. I need pink dye though, because I will only accept having a pink bed. I will not sleep on a non-pink bed. That is just not... My bed in real life is pink too. I got pink blankets. Pink! Sweet! Why are you here? I wish I had some carrots. That would be great. So now we got some baked potatoes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Sweet. We're doing good now. Feasting. We have all the food. Did I get all of them? Okay. Nice. Then I want to save the wheat for our farm animals. That one's not fully grown yet. Now, I'm going to do my best. Going to do my best here. But, I'm not the best at Minecraft. So, you'll just have to bear with me. We need more bone meal to finish our mossification of the island. And then we need sugarcane for books eventually when we want to enchant. So I'm just gonna work on that a little bit now. And then bamboo, I don't know what I need bamboo for. I might want to build with it. Since we found bamboo, oh wait, I wasn't done going through the list of the things that we found. So after we found the ice biome, we found a turtle area. But it wasn't just like, oh, we found turtles on the edge of a beach. It was like, there was like a river and there was like turtles on either side of the river on these beach areas. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like the turtle area. So we found that. So that's really cool. Oh, I had hay bales. I could have made way more bread. I'm just so blind, you guys. Oh, we found tall grass in a couple of chests, so we have that as a trophy. After the turtles, we found our Mushroom Islands with our ocean monument. So there's an ocean monument on this side of the island, but then on the other side of that island, there's another ocean monument. You want to see? I'm going to show you. I'm only going to show you one because I don't really feel like going across the water right now. This is the one that I think we're going to transform into something else. We're going to make this fancy. We're going to make it a fancy ocean monument. I think I was calling it Ocean Island. Anyway, the other one will be our farm because that one will be an actual ocean monument thing. What if we make the ocean monument our storage room? Oh my god. What do you guys think about that? Instead of putting it on the roof of the Nether, we could clear out that ocean monument and make it our storage room. Our storage monument. You stay the fuck away from my sheep. Oh, you hit hard. Oh, I got some gold from him. I'm gonna need a new shield. Alright. Oh my gosh, that's a big brain. Okay. New plan. We're not having the thing be on the roof of the Nether. We're having it as the ocean monument. So that's our new plan. That's gonna be so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Back on track. After we found our Mushroom Islands and the ocean monuments, we found 1, 2, 3, 4. We found 4 villages. 4 separate villages on our journey to try to find cherry blossom biomes. But after that, because that's not all we found. We found an archaeology spot. My first archaeology spot. We actually have a clip of it somewhere because I was so fed up. I was so fed up with finding every single thing but cherry blossoms. It had never taken me so long to find cherry blossoms before. And then after we found an archaeology spot, because we're definitely going to go back to that. That'll be really cool. We found a coral reef, which will be so much fun for decorating. It'll be so great once we get Silk Touch to go get some of that stuff and to just make stuff pretty. And then we found a desert, which is really great because we need sand. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm gonna have to encase the ocean monument area in like a glass bubble if we want to have our storage room there and have all the water gone, even around it, so we don't get attacked by those little guardian things. Okay, so it'll be like monument in a dome. Yeah, okay, that'll be fine. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna need a lot of sand then. And then, after we found the desert, we found a mesa. A mesa. That has such a low chance of spawning in the world. It was, I had to stop and Google it. It was like 0.03% or something. And I was so like, oh my gosh. Are you serious? And then we finally found the cherry blossom biome, which was so small and so sparse. I was just defeated. And I was like, you know what? It's not big enough. It's not big enough to have a, I wasn't jumping because I forgot it's faster. It wasn't big enough for what I wanted, and also it was right next to a savanna, and savannas are ugly. I didn't want to build a base there and then have to look at a savanna. Like, seriously? No. So we decided that we would make our base the Mushumai. Ah! Oh my god! Ah! Ah! Get in the water, swim away. Ugh, okay. Deer, yes, I'm a deer. I'm a deer swimming for her life because, oh my goodness. They didn't despawn. I thought they would have despawned. Why are all my enemies here over here trying to murder me? What do you mean I can only sleep at night or during thunderstorms? There are enemies around. Please, please let me sleep. Please. I don't know what time it is. Please. I see you, creeper. My shield is not prepared. Was that the top of that corner? Oh, you can see our coral reef over there because the water's all bright and vibrant. Eepies. Alright, there was something else in here. Ooh, okay. We'll use that to fuck up these mobs. You thought you could kill me. Joke's on you. I have a sword. It won't last very long because it's gold, but I have a sword. Alright, it's gonna be okay. As soon as we can... I hate rain in Minecraft. It hurts my eyeballs. I don't even know how to tell what time it is. I'm gonna go eeps. I'm gonna go eepies, please. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of this magma bot because if I spawn back in here, because I might die, then I don't want to, like, spawn on that block. There. That's a little bit safer. I guess I could fill in the holes a little bit around, around here. Just a little bit with some cobblestone, make it a little bit safe. There we go. And then I'll put a torch over here so no mobs will spawn if I get distracted while I'm doing my... Ooh, okay. We need to come back with iron. Alright, so we should... This island should be safe now. Alright, very good. And then if I can make the rain go away, that would be the best thing in the world. I would very much so appreciate. I'd appreciate if I could. If I could. Please. We got some fish. I don't know if we have enough baked potatoes. Hey, wait a minute. The creepers are gone. Oh, sweet. They despawned. Good drink some water. Delicious water. I love water. It hydrates. And it's so good. It's dark. Is it not nighttime? Oh, wait. Is that the sunset? Coffee is good, too. But it makes me crash after I drink it. So, like, for about half hour to an hour, it'll amp me up a little bit. But then after that, I am ready for bed. So, yep. Just like that. You need it in your veins. Just take a syringe of caffeine directly into your veins. Don't do that. This is just a joke. You will die. Wow. Alright, let's get some sand. I don't know how much... I guess I'll keep that in case we come across a dog. Because I know we found some... Oh. So... When I was in the nether, I found some... I don't really need arrows, but okay. I know I found... Wait, what? Bone blocks. I found some blown blocks over in the nether, but I already used it all for the mossification of the island, so. I'm gonna start at the top of the mountain. We're gonna need a lot of sand for a lot of glass. I really should have done this off stream. Did I loot that? Is this the coral reef that I have in my notes? Okay, let's just get some sand for real quick. We're not gonna be here the whole time. We'll just do it for the shovels that we brought. We'll just do a little bit of sand gathering right now. Yeah, just a little bit. We're not gonna do too much because that'd be pretty boring. Just gathering sand the whole time. What? You're back. Welcome back. Here we go. We got this. Look at all this sand that we're getting. Look at all this sand. So good. So we're not only gonna need sand for sand's sake, but we're also gonna need sand for glass. So I'll leave it as sand for now because we're gonna need it. We're just gonna need it as sand to help us with both of our ocean monuments. So I guess the first one that we should do is our ocean monument storage. So we should do that one first. Maybe we'll even find a sponge room while we're clearing it out. That'd be cool. Yeah. More efficient to just use torches for this. You see, that's why I have chat. I broke it. What? I don't... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Okay. That wasn't just me, right? Yeah, okay. That's what it's supposed to do. Thing is... Oh, there's a cave. That's a little bit scary. I don't know where the bottom of... Here, I'll get rid of the single layers. Oh, that's just gonna be sandstone. It might not be more efficient. I don't know. Oh! Go away! Leave me alone! Go away! Go away! Alright. Alright. We're just gonna do this from top to bottom, and we're gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. This might, we're not gonna be here for the whole time. We're just gonna be here for a couple of shovels. Just a couple of shovels. Just what we have. I'm not gonna make more with the stone that I brought. I was thinking maybe, but I decided I don't want to do that. We're gonna be hopping around doing a couple of different things. Figuring out what we're gonna do. I will put down some signs. A to-do list. I need to make a to-do list wall. Yes. That will help. That will help me. We're gonna make this desert barren. It'll be a stone desert. There will be no sand. Yes. Here we go. The hillside is a little bit too bumpy, I think, to do it that way. But maybe if I went onto a flatter area, I could use torches. A flatter area... No, not that way. A flatter area... Yeah. We'll go to a flatter area and do it with torches. So if I just dig straight down... Just for the sand. And then I take a torch. Oops. There we go. Here, I do want to make sure I have a tunnel out. So let me just... Okay, good. There we go. Alright, now we got a line. What? Okay, thank you. I am breaker of Minecraft. Sand defies gravity around me. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. Here, I'll do it one more in this direction. There we go. I don't know, Minecraft, it likes to make fun of me sometimes, where it just doesn't do the Minecraft stuff. And it bullies me. Jesus, I heard a zombie, but I know it's just from the cave that's nearby. Alright, I just gotta... I don't know. It works sometimes. This is our sand hole. Yeah, that's just happening right now, I guess. We're just having gravity issues in our world. There we go. Alright. We got a little bit of sand. I think I'm gonna use up one of the shovels, though. Make a better path towards our thing. That way, in case we have to run out, we're gonna be okay. Run out of the hole, run this way. Do it like that. Yeah, our bed's pretty far away, but I feel like that is a safe spot for our bed to be. Ideally, that would be the portal, actually. Yeah. Alright, we got enough sand for now. I'm already bored of the sand. I wanna do something else. Sand is boring. Boring! Ah! What? 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 Why? Why? He went through the portal to ambush me! He can't catch up, though. I'm too fast. We're safe. Rude. So rude. I don't even know. I don't know. Very, very rude of him. I don't even understand. Here we go. Here we go. We got these. Yeah, I got bored of the sand, so we're gonna do something else. I don't know what, though. Oh, I'm actually low on water. Alright, we'll get back to the base. I'll reset my spawn to the base area, and then I'll go get more water. We got these. It might be fun. I don't know what design I want for our thing up here. Our, what is it? Highway? Yes, that's the word. Or another highway. Okay, we're through the hole. Whoa! Dolphin! Hi, friend. You want to play with some sugar cane? You want to play with the toy? I don't know if he's close enough for it. Okay, we reset our spawn. I'm gonna go get some more water real quick, and we'll be right back. I'll have the chat on my phone though, so we'll be good. Everything will be good. Everything will be fine, and we'll be right back. You Okay, we're back. Sip, sip. That just makes me drink some water, which I just got more of, so I'll take a sip. Sip, sip.
Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy?
And that does that. The pumpkin grew in the wrong spot. I do not appreciate the pumpkin not growing where I want it to. Let me just do that. And that. Now it has to grow where I want it to. Lovely. Okay. Now we can eeps. Okay, we'll put the stone away. We'll put bones away. Where do I put the sand? Oh, I guess I have some sand in here. Put the sand in here. Okay, got more sand than I have room for. That's fine. Why is there an option for blink? To remind me to blink. Because sometimes when you're streaming, you just stare at the screen and you forget to blink. It's actually been scientifically proven that when you are looking at your screen, whether it be your phone or your computer, you actually blink less. So it is actually a thing that happens. So that is there to remind me to blink. So my eyeballs don't dry out. Alright, we got a backup shield because our other shield is low. See that? Very good. We need our crops to grow faster. Oh, these potatoes look done. Potato, potato, potato. Give me more potatoes. And actually, we have some wheat somewhere, don't we? There it is. Let's breed up our animals. I don't need a whole stack. I have your favorite treat. I need a sheep pen. Here. Alright, so I'm gonna get some more fences for my sheeps. More fences for the sheeps. So I can put the sheeps and actually start breeding them. I don't really need the sheep right now, though. You see, the cows will be useful for... Well, I guess I could have the sheep for food, too. I got a single fence. And then I'm gonna need more fence. Nope, I'm gonna need more fence. Is it like this? Is this how I make a fence? Yes. See, I know what I'm doing. Even when I don't know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. You see? You see? 14 hours, yep. And that's why we have a thing to remind me to blink. So how wide is this? So it's like, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So now we'll go this way. And we need a little bit more fence. Oh, actually, this is going to need to be a gate. So this needs to be a gate. Oh, wait. I need this here to tell me where it needs to be. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we need a little bit more fences and gates. Nothing to remind you to blink. Yeah, just blink. Just like close your eyes really hard. Because it hurts your eyes when you stare for too long. Alright, I have my own crafting table, so I can just craft it over there. That way, I don't need to run back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, like I am doing right now. How many... Oh, wait, hang on, I need more. Boop! There we go. So if I do that, it gives me 3. I think that's actually what I need. And then if I do this... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need 5. Okay, sweet. And then I'll get rid of this one. I needed 4. I'm a fool. Okay, so I got an extra gate, and then I just need some slabs. I'm gonna get some pink slabs because pink is a good color. So if I only needed 4 gates, that means I need 6 slabs to go across the entire thing. And then I also need some carpets. Alright, let's put this stuff away. So I'll put this here, and I'll put that there, and I'll put that there, put that away. And then the slabs are going to be in the pink one because... There we go. And then I need some carpets. I don't know how many carpets I need. I'll just take this whole thing. Just do that. Wow, look at me go, guys. I know what I'm doing. Look at me be so productive. Alright, so I'll do this. And that'll make it so only the babies can go under. And then get the sheepies. Hello. That's what I thought. Your favorite treat. Your favorite treat. Wheat. Get wrecked. Hello. Fine. I'll do it after I carpet up the sides so I can jump in and out. No. As I please. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Carpets! Carpets! Behold! My sheeps. Kiss. Can they eat my... Damn it. We're not on grass. I have a solution! To the grass block of hope, because I was prepared for this. Oh, grass block of hope. We got this. I don't know what I'm doing, but we got this. Hello, East. Hello. We're gonna make this just start going downwards. Oh, I have a shovel. What am I doing? I didn't know how many dirt I was gonna There we go. I was gonna need. And I don't know if the dirt needs to be connected like this in order for the grass to go down, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Grass! Reach my sheep! Okay, I'm gonna take it this way a little bit, and then we're just gonna... And then... I don't think they can eat moss. So, we gotta do this for the sheeps. There. So the grass will travel along the line of dirt. And it'll eventually get to the pen. You see? It'll eventually be all the way over here. I don't know if the fence is gonna harm it, so I'm just gonna do that for now. And I'll put this here so I have it. It looks like it's open. Yeah, it just looks like it's open. There we go. And now I will place it in here. You see? Thank you, though, for reminding... Get the fuck out of the hole before I murder you, sheep. Thank you. Here we go. Sheep! Get out of my way! I will smite all of you! Alright. Oh, I didn't finish putting up my carpets. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Sheep, I swear if you don't get out of my way. You have a child that can easily replace you. There we go. Crisis averted. It'll take a while for that to spread. But, you'll have your grass soon enough. Oh, you can't have more babies? I would actually like a child to come over here, please. Thank you. Yes. We're gonna get a mix of normal cows now. You guys want to see a magic trick? Magic trick. What? Why didn't that work? Hello? Does it only work if they're adults? Okay, I guess I have to wait for them to grow up to shear them. That's fine. Everything's fine. I'm gonna put all my stuff away. Dirt. Moss. Leads go in here. Actually, the shields will... Sleeps! It wasn't magic, it was... yeah. Well, it didn't work because they're babies, but it'll work later. Alright, so our storage room... is gonna be that. Alright, let's block out to it. We got this. We're gonna need more potatoes. This one's fully grown. This one's fully grown. This one's fully grown. This one's fully grown. Oh, and this one. Sweet. Alright, we'll use some dirt to block out. I don't really know the radius for... Hang on. That's not what I meant to click. Okay, there you go. Ocean, Monument, Minecraft, spawn area. Ocean Monument, wait. Guardian spawn. Guardian spawn inside the 58 area of the monument from Y level 39. So 58 by 58. So okay. I got this. Go to the center and then 58. Okay, we got a plan. I should get my boat. Sorry, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's how it goes with ADHD. Eventually, we will make progress. I promise. Eventually, we will be doing a thing. Eventually, stuff will be getting done. I just need my boat. That's right, we spawned in a birch forest when we originally spawned into this world, so we got a birch boat. Alright. To the center of the monument we go. Do I have... Okay, good. I am wearing armor. Ow! Can you not be so rude? Oops, put that in the wrong spot. I should eat some food. You can't see me. I have a wall. You can't see me. All right, so. Hey! You shouldn't be able to see me. I'll wait to heal up all the way. Just in case. Alright, so. Okay, he's fighting those things. So, what we're gonna do is go down. No! No! Leave me alone! It's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be annoying. Oh, fuck you! Fight me, bitch! Fight you! What? Okay. Well. We might want to do this in a slightly different way. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. I forgot. We went to the other one. Oh, we don't have any gear now. And all my blocks are not organized anymore. Well, where did I die? Nope, I'm not dealing with them. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. There it is. There it is. It's not cheating if it's a method in the game. It's how I want to play it. This is my stream. Don't like it, get out. I'm not gonna be fighting for my life while trying to get my stuff. Okay, that I actually don't need because that's trash. It's the deer. It is the deer. Okay. Okay. It's over here. We got two boats. Hang on. It doesn't have the number. Whoa, what the fuck? Okay. Must have been a dolphin. Give me a moment. My numbers are not numbering. Since it floats up any... Oh, I guess that would have been faster. Oh, it's already messing up my numbers. Okay, we'll put this boat on this side. Okay. Probably would have been faster to just boat around 7. 7 what? I don't know what you're talking about. You just say numbers. All right, 58. Whoop. I know it says 57, but this is this block here. All right. All right. 23. Dalter is just saying random numbers because he can. We got this. So we're mapping out the radius of where these assholes can spawn. According to Google. Yeah, that feels about right, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Can they really spawn this far away? Oh, I guess it's not that far away. It's right there. Alright, let's get to the next one. Alright. Math. Math. Who has time for math? Math is gross. Here we go. Is this something I'm too dumb to understand? Maybe. Maybe I'm just a silly little goofy guy in a silly little goofy world. No, don't break it. Don't break the block. I don't know why my finger was on the breaky thing. I don't know. I don't know why anything does anything it does anymore. I don't know anymore about anything. I'm just a little guy in a little world that is trying to beat me down, and I won't let it beat me down. All right. Med school. Ooh, no, don't do that. That is a mistake. You'll be beaten and abused. Beyond the brink of death. Got some kelp. Alright, we got this. And then I can go get the sands next. A mistake as a... Yeah. Everything that I've heard about med school is that it's awful and don't do it. You're living the mistake, oh no. May they have mercy on your soul. Your kelp. He needs some milk. And instead it's kelp. He needs some kelp. Okay. This is a big ass square. This feels way bigger than it... or whatever. It'll look really cool when we're done, though. Perfect. I got the blocks I needed now. Kelp is in my way. How dare it be in my way? How dare? How dare? Alright, we got this. Look at me go, look at me go! I'm doing the thing. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Is that a geode? No way, no way, no way, no way! Hang on, I'm not gonna let myself die. Just hang on. No way, we found a geode! Oh my gosh, we found a geode! Can I get up, please, and not die? Oh my god! Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Good. No way, no way, no way! No way! There's a second one right there! Oh my god! We found 2 geodes right next to each other! Are you shitting me? This is the best day! This is the best day! Right next to each other! This is insane! Oh my god! La la la, la di da. Look at all the shinies that I'm getting. We got 2, yeah, we got 2 geodes right next to our 2 islands, right next to our 2 guardian monuments. Or ocean monuments. That's crazy. This is the best. This is the best thing ever. Such a dork? No, you. You the dork. Mods banned Altura. Calling me a dork. Get banned. He is a mod, though. Gasp! This is crazy. If we didn't have it on stream live that I generated this world, I wouldn't believe that this wasn't a seed. This is awesome. Oh my god! I love it. This is what we're doing now. We're getting rid of the geodes. Give me the blocks. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me on this day, Minecraft. Okay, we don't want to break those ones, because those will give us more shards to get more amethyst. Because I don't think you can even silk touch them. Oh, okay. This is the greatest ever. This is the greatest ever. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can I go up, please? So here's what we're gonna... If I can get up. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, I ran out. It's okay, though. I'll just use these. You see, now we got a little amethyst marker. You kidding me? This is the best. Yeah, I wish calcite was easier to get because it's so awesome. Oh, this is the greatest day ever. Alright, let's go back to our island. I need a new pickaxe. This is great. I also need a little bit more dirt, and then we're gonna need our sand. Happy deer noises. I can't believe we found a geode. That's like one of the only things we didn't find on our journey when we were looking for a cherry blossom. But technically we did because it was right there the whole time. Okay, let's grab some more dirt. I can't believe we found it. Oh, look at that. 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 All right, let's get another pickaxe. I totally knew that I had one in there, and I totally didn't just guess. Here, I'm gonna take those two. Alright, 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 alright. This is great. This is great. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy right now. It's an amethyst day! Amethyst day, boys! Look at that! Amethyst! Okay, so if I need the sand to be here. Okay. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be so fantastic. I am so excited to have amethyst. And it's right next to our storage room too, so we can easily just make a path to the geode and like fancy up the farm room for all the buds. It's gonna be great. This is great. What a day. All right, let's go to the other side now. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. And there was two right next to each other. It wasn't just one geode, it was two geodes. Oh my gosh. Great day, great day. Two shiny. What's better than one shiny? Two shinies. Love it. Love to see it. Man, and I was thinking like, man, I don't know if I should play Minecraft because I don't really have a plan for today. And I was just like, okay, I guess I could grab some sand and then we'll just see where we go from there. And look at us now. We're on our way to making a storage room. From an ocean monument next to two geodes. So good. So good. This is so great. I love it. Love to see it. Alright, here's one quadrant. Alright, this is one quadrant that we're gonna have to drain out. Yeah, we're making a big square. Big square. We're gonna have to do this twice, by the way, because we're doing it once for this ocean monument, but then there's the ocean monument on the other side of the island that we'll make for a prismarine farm. So we're gonna have to actually do this twice. But I want to get started on our storage room, because we're gonna need that. Here we go. Okay, almost there. How much sand is it even gonna be? Well, I'm hoping there's a sponge room. So, hopefully we can just, you know, do sections of it and use sponges. That is the ideal scenario. However, if there's not, it's gonna be a fuck ton. How much sand? A fuck ton of sand. Man, I wish I had Swift Sneak. That would be nice. This would be going way faster if I had Swift Sneak. But you know what? It is what it is. We just sit here and we just keep on placing. And we keep on placing blocks. And we keep on trudging forward. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably get the sand off stream. If there's, you know, watching some other people stream while I get it. Because that is going to be a lot of sand we're going to need. Okay, second square. Bastion rating? Oof. Oof. We're gonna need more dirt. I underestimated the amount of dirt that we were gonna need. Piglin trading would be faster for what? Sand? Okay, but in order to make a piglin trading farm, I'm gonna need to make a gold farm, and in order to make a gold farm, I'm gonna need to make a magma cube farm. I should probably make an iron farm first. Oh, for Swift Sneak? Oh. Wait, do piglins give sand? No, they give gravel, don't they? Not sand. Either way, it would be really handy to have that farm. Though as soon as we set up a piglin trading farm, we won't be able to put our world in peaceful ever again, because that would fuck everything up. So I want to be a little bit more ready before I get that. Swift Sneak is deep dark. Yeah, you're thinking... Oh, you're thinking of Soul Sand. Soul Speed. Yeah, that's it. I need more... I need more dirt! Dirt, dirt, dirt. I need more dirt. That one's trapped in the cube at the moment. Oh, the other one is too. Sand farms, feel a tad cheat. Sand farms? Oh yeah, you have to use the ender pearl end portal for that, don't you? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That's too much. Too much for my little deer brain to handle. We'll just stick to manual. That's why I'm gonna do it off stream, I think. Whoa, Jesus. I'm clicking too fast. That should be enough dirt. Deja vu. I think I've been to this place before. I can't wait until we get ice. We need silk touch for that, though, I'm pretty sure. So the reason why we, even though we counted out our blocks to be 58, the reason why we put this block is because we want our sand to be here. So I'm going to be dropping the sand off of these blocks, just in case anyone was wondering. I'm not completely crazy. I do have a little bit of brain in me. Just a wee bit. I'm just holding down the place block. Why is it lagging behind sometimes? Whatever. Whatever. I don't even know. Go. Go. Faster. Is there not a way to go faster to do this? If I go straight backwards? Nope, that's not faster. Can I crouch, sneak, speed? Yep. Shift, crouch, and... Probably not. This is probably not making me go any faster. Meow. Into the water we go. Whoa! What the fuck? Wait, where am I? I don't know. I don't even know. Dolphins are fucking with me, I swear. Geode! Honestly, find a geode in the ocean this way was probably going to be the only way that we were going to find one, because I don't like caves. They're a little bit scary. Come on, place the block. They're just a wee bit terrifying. All right, third square is closed off. For a second, I thought I saw a warm ocean, but maybe I'm just going insane. Your Gamma Max, so you don't find them that scary? What does that do? Does that make it brighter? I don't know what that does. I'm just a little guy. Brightness. Ah, I see. It's not about the brightness. It's about the creepers. They're terrifying. You edited something in the files? You made it so bright you had to go into the fuck! Hi, Monoma. How are you doing? Now Deltarune knows it's turned back on. Oh no. I got more dirt than I needed. Okay, now I need the sand. I need to get this thing off. Where'd my boat go? Hello? Oh, there it is. You think you're no longer sick? Awesome. Love to hear it. Delta is planning to throw everything at me. Abuse! Don't abuse the deer. The deer just wants to love you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It scared me too because it just throws it immediately. I need to do a big stretch. That's better. So, what I've learned from the amount of dirt that we've used is that I'm gonna need a lot more... Where the fuck is my sand? There it is. I'm gonna need a lot more sand than what I have. Nope, not in the chest. I was just trying to... Yep, put it here. Yep. Here. I should get rid of these. So it'll grow some more. Instead of just leaving them like this. Because I'll need them... Not that one. Yep, there we go. Here, let's make these into blocks. There we go. Here we go. So now that'll grow more. And I guess I should do my wheat since I'm tending to the farm anyway. Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna take care of my sheeps and my cows and everyone will be happy. $3,000 stacks. Now, that sounds insane. So we're gonna hope that we can get a sponge room. We're gonna hope for a sponge room. We'll get started with the sand on the outside. But hopefully we can get sponge. We'll start at this block. Probably closer to... Okay. I'm sure we got this. Okay, good. They're stacking. Okay. You gotta make sure that they're not breaking at the bottom in case there's like a plant or something, because otherwise you're just gonna waste your time. Okay, good. This is what we are doing, apparently. Because, yep. We're just gonna hopefully... I don't know if we have enough stacks to even outline this first square. Honestly, I don't think we do. Hang on. Is this gonna... Oh, there's a... Hang on. If I do this... Oh, it crushes it. Oh, neat. Never mind. Maybe we'll be fine. Yes. Speed. We go fast as fuck. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how fast I'm going. Look at how fast I'm zooming. I'm zooming. I'm zooming, chat. I'm zooming. You can't slow me down. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. I'm fast as fuck. Ah, fuck! Rude. That is rude, Deltara. You're being rude. You see how he abuses me, chat? He abuses me. Look at that abuse. Wow. Look at me go. Zoom, zoom. Oop. That one's done. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more sand. It's easier to do it this way, though. I'm just gonna get started, and then we're gonna look for a sponge room. And please let there be a sponge room. I'm just getting started on the outline of it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, Sylvia. There's gonna be a sponge room. You'll be fine. And we can always check the other one for a sponge room too. Hopefully. We'll need to grab a door. We're gonna be good. Everything's gonna be fine. Look at this. Look at this go. This is the last of the sand. Your calculations were way off. Did you forget about the vertical? Did you forget about the vertical? We're gonna need a lot of fucking sand. You overestimated. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because we don't have to do it all the way up because the ground, wherever the ground is, that's where it is. So it's not gonna be the full of 458. Closer to 800 stacks. Oh, that's nice at least. Yeah, because we don't need the full 58 vertical from the center of the thing each way because there's the ground, and then we don't need to mob proof it in the air because they can only spawn in the water. So door. I probably don't need that many doors. Where's the entrance? It's easier to see the entrance when I'm above the water, actually. Alright, we got this. Roxas! Oh my gosh, hello! My cheese! You got what? You can't have my cheese? That's my cheese! What? What? I need that cheese! Do, do, do. Thank you so much for the follow. Somnius? A raccoon with a knife! Ah! I also have a knife. I also have a knife. Let's see what clip we get.
I'm in so much trouble!
Do, do, do. Thank you for the follow. Is that a gun? Why is there a gun on your screen? You fighting peoples? Oh, I think the clip froze. Thank you for the follow, Kitser. And thank you for the follow,
Raiders!
Spookies. Which one of you clipped that?
Now might be a good time to leave stream.
What? I hate it when it freezes and then I get confused. I get confused when it freezes. Thank you for the follow. Ooh, sweet and sauciness. Ooh. Ooh.
Clip that.
No one clipped that. It's been clipped.
Nothing happened. No.
It's been clipped. Oh, okay. That's what happened. I'm not gonna allow that message just because I don't want that word to get through, but I did see your message, Roxas. I did see it. I just don't want that term to be permitted. That's not a good thing to have happen during stream. How does one even do that? That's... oof. Alright. We're going into a monument. We got this. It was a misinput. Oh, blink. Yes, I actually do need to remember to blink, and I actually got sleep in my eyes for some reason. I don't know why. I've been awake this whole time. Is it because I've been staring? Blink, 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 blink. All right. We got this. Your poor eyes. And accidentally opened your Discord server. Oh, gosh. I don't know how to find a sponge room. Do I go up or down? Well, the only way to go... Oh, no fucking way! It's the first room we go in! We find it! The first room we go in! We find sponges! We found Roxas brought the luck with us. You brought luck. Thank you. Oh my gosh. We have sponges. The first room. I was expecting to not actually find one. This is insane. Oh my god. This is we need so much less sand now. We only really need to outline a couple of areas. This is insane. Sponges. We have sponges. We got 21 sponges. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the lurk. Thank you so much for the lurk, sweet and sauciness. Thank you, thank you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so we went that way. We don't need to go that way again. Oh my god! This place is usually supposed to be like a maze. And, okay, that's the entrance. Wait, if I go back down. So that was the sponge room over there. So, hang on, wait, I need a door. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die! Okay. We found a sponge room immediately. Wow, okay. So that was that room. So if we go in here... Okay, there's nothing in here. So we'll go up. And we'll go up. And we'll put a door down so I don't die. I can't... Oh my gosh. This feels like one of those fake YouTube videos. Where we find everything immediately. Oh my god. That's insane. Okay, so this room is nothing. There's nothing up here. So where I need to go is... I don't know where I go. I don't know where I go from here. So this room is also a dead end? Yes, that room is also a dead end, so... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna... Where's the exit? Okay. I'm gonna dry out the sponges real quick. Oh my god. Oh my god! This is the best thing. You gotta hop out. Yes! Thank you so much for the raid. You have a fantastic day. And you get the self-scares and it's all good. Where's the cheese? I hid it. You'll never find my cheese. You think I'm just gonna let you go off with my cheese? I'm an American. I fucking love cheese. Thanks for being a friend. Of course. I noticed that you got a new model. That's cool. I haven't been able to pop into your streams too much lately, and I forgot to message you about it. But I noticed it before the clip, I swear. Hang on. I'm gonna sleep, make the night go away. Banish the darkness. Alright, we're gonna dry out our sponges. Is it behind my back? No. You'll never guess where I've hidden my cheese. It's my cheese. You'll never have it. This is the best way to dry out sponges. Because water can't exist in the nether. Instantly dry out your sponges. Wait, is that the same as just... Oh, okay. What tool do you want to use for sponges? Interesting. I'm not sure what tool you want to use for sponges. I'm so excited that we found these. This is the best. We are basically set now. Sponge. Sponge. Boing. What a weird word. Sponge. Boing. Kind of sounds like the word is a spring. Boing. We're gonna need so much more sand. Oh my god. At least we have the torch method, so we won't have to break a bunch of shovels. Actually, I want a boat for the inside of... Is the hoe? Okay. I don't have one. Here's what I'm gonna do. So first, we're gonna... And then we're gonna go up. Aha! We have air! No, we don't. So if I can just sponge the rooms that I've been in, then it'll be clear of where we've been in the ocean monument, right? You see? And then we'll just collect them as we go, make sure we don't lose them. Now we gotta start up and work our way down. That way we don't have issues. There we go. You see? Easy. If I can... There we go. Mehehe. Mehehe. Sponge, come back to me, Sponge. Now, I won't do it absolutely perfectly. But it'll maybe help us. I say as I struggle. Woo! Water be gone! Water be gone! You see? It helps, I think. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's gonna be okay. I'm certain of it. My sponge! You see? See how easy this is? Now I can actually not die in this room. It would be nice if we had more sponge, though, because that's not very much sponge to get us to where we need to go, which is exploring this place. Alright. 20... Wait, what? Didn't we start with 21? Did we get more sponges? Maybe we missed a sponge when we originally broke all the sponges in the sponge room. Weird. Where's my boat? There's my boat. Boat! Come to me, boat! I don't know if this is the best way to do it. This is actually going to take forever, isn't it? But it's going to be the best way to know where we've already been, because that place is like a maze. And we will make a hoe while we are back at our base. That way we can break the sponges quicker. Yeah, we got these. Is it in the secret cheese bunker? Oh no, he knows about the cheese bunker. You'll never find the secret cheese bunker, though. You'll never find it. You'll never find the code. You'll never guess the code. The cheese is safe. They can't guess the code. And now we got a hoe. Yay! Alright, let's dry out our sponges. Tool for sponges. Meow! Sponges! I can't believe it's the first one we found. I love it. I love it so much. I can't wait to have our storage room in the ocean monument. This is going to be amazing. That sound, though, it's so nice. Yeah, that's definitely faster. We got the fastest way of drying out sponges because we're big brain. Giga brain. Gosh, we're so smart. Look at that. Sponge! And we're off. This is so exciting, guys. I'm so happy that we found sponges. Ooh, we might need to cut down our bamboo again. Where's our boat? Here's my boat. It's the dolphin. Hi, dolphins. Oh, there's 3 of them. Hi, beepies. Yeah, we're gonna need so much more sand. Boat. We boating. We gaming. I will say that the sponges are gonna help us so much. I need to figure out what block radius sponges do. Well, I could Google that. Alright, we'll go all the way up. And we'll sponge out this room the rest of the way. Yes. Alright, so we got all the water from this room. Very nice. Let's pick up our sponges so we don't lose them. I do think we're probably going to take down some walls when we make this our storage room, because I don't really see us using a room like this. This is kind of an odd room shape. I guess I could, like, take some of the blocks down now. Because I don't really love... Ooh. I don't really love the shape of this room. So... we'll just make it a little bit easier on ourselves later. We'll just take a couple of these. Wow, look at these blocks. Look at how awesome this is. Or would you guys prefer I hollow out some of the rooms off stream? Or do you just want me to go with my ADHD? Should we just finish draining the monument, or should we just let the ADHD? Because this is the ADHDing. This might be our treasure room since it's at the top. Or would treasure room be at the bottom? ADHD flow? Alright, we're just doing it as the brain goes. Brain go burr. You vote ADHD? Alright, guys. We're just letting the ADHD take control of the stream. Who knows what we'll end up? We needed sand at one point, and that ended up with us getting sheep. Alright. So this room was really cramped before, so this is gonna help us. This is gonna help a lot. It would be great if we could get some warped blocks. That'd be nice. Here we go. Alright, so now we actually have something that we could work with. But we're gonna finish with these other rooms, I think. And there. And there. And the water descends. Look at that. Now, we aren't necessarily going to be able to get back up to that room now that we've removed the water. But we will... We'll probably do... I'm not sure if I'll do a ladder or a staircase or what. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what we're doing. Can we just maybe put one there? Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Okay. Take this sponge. Can I get my sponge back, please? Please? Sponge for the deer. Sponge for the deer! Yes! We got this. And put the sponge there. I think I'm getting a better feel on how much radius a sponge will do. You see? We only use 3 sponges for this room. Not bad. Not too shabby. Oh wait, we missed a sponge. When did this happen? I guess I should leave that water there, because otherwise we'll get stuck if we fall down there. Okay, can I go forth? Hwah! Hwah! Water be gone. Where's this water coming from? This way? Alright. We got this. Okay, so this is blocking the path. So we're just gonna open this up a little bit. Because that's the front door, I think. Yeah. Look at me go. Alright, we'll go this way. Slowly. Surely. We got this. Hwah. And hwah. Oh. Oh! More sponges! More sponges for the sponge collection. More sponges. More sponges. More sponges for my collection. Sponge. Sponge, the sponge room. Sponge. Sponge. Sponge! Guys, we have so many sponges! Look at all my sponges. I love it. My hoe broke! Okay, that's fine. We'll get a better hoe. We'll make an iron hoe because we're gonna be sponging a lot. Look at how many sponges we have. Look at all my sponges. Look at all my sponges. Look at this. Look at all my sponges. Look at all my trinkets. We got so lucky. 2 sponge rooms. Is that common? I feel like, because, like, I've heard that some ocean monuments don't have sponges. And so I was worried that we just straight up weren't going to have any. Okay, so I grab all my... we have almost a stack of sponges, you guys. Alright, I'm pretty sure I accidentally... Yep, okay, there we go. And so, if I know this isn't sucking it up, but it's, like, blocking it off. I thought there was a sponge I left. Yep, there it is. Hang on. Let me just get to my sponge really quick, please. Sponge. 56 sponges. 57 sponges. Now that is a good amount of... I think the exit's this way. That is a good amount of sponges, if I do say so. And I do say so. I say so indeed. Sponge! Whew. Alright. We got so many sponges! This is the greatest day. Alright. We'll sleep, make the day come back, and then we'll dry them out in the nether, and we'll get ourselves an iron hoe, because our sponges deserve it. This is gonna be the greatest. The greatest of all time. Sponge collection. Sponge collection for the ages. There we go. Oh, yeah. Big stretch. That's better. Where's my iron? Where's my iron? 2 iron, please. For the hoe. For the sponges. Alright. We got this. Look at it. Look at all my sponges. Almost a full stack of sponges. Sponges! Look at this. Look at this. Oops, I missed some. Yes. Look at this. Greatness. We have greatness. This is the best. Oh my god. I love it. Wait, is my model not modeling? Hang on. Oh, she's looking upwards. Why? Why are you looking upwards? More than I am. And boop. We're back. Sponges. Look at all my sponges. Yes, sponges. We should probably make some ladders. How do I make ladders? Ladders. Probably sticks. Sticks for my ladders. That'll be enough. And we're off. We don't need these doors. I made too many doors. Sponges. Look at all my sponges. Amazing. I want someone to do the calculations for finding 2 mushroom biomes right next to each other. Like, the odds of not only finding 2 mushroom islands right next to each other, but then finding 2 ocean monuments on either side. And 2 geodes next to one of them. Like, what are the odds of that? 7? That's why we needed ladders. Oops, that's still open. I don't want that to be open. Were these where we found the sponges? No. Where did I find my sponges? Sponges? Where is my sponge room? Let me collect all my sponges before I move on. My sponge! That is my sponge. How dare the water try to take my sponge from me? How dare! Oh, there's more path upwards? Jeez. Alright, now we got an air bubble though, so that's nice. We'll go back down a little bit, please. Please. Sponge. Thank you for my sponge. No, my sponge! Where did it go? My baby, my precious, my darling, come to me. Sponge. There's my sponge. What's this way? First of all, a lot of fucking water. Sponge. We'll go this way. Okay, it doesn't look like... Here we go. It's better. That's a lot better. Okay, now we can actually move. And breathe. Did I... I'm missing a sponge. Where'd my sponge go? Sponge! Oh, it's... We're fine. Alright, we'll go down. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm a little bit lost. Hang on. Sponge. Sponge power. Sponges. Sponges. Wait, there's a hole here? I don't know if there's supposed to be a hole here. Where am I? Hello? Where in the world am I? Is this a normal place to be in the monument? I don't think so. I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Do I have all my sponges? No, I'm missing a sponge. Where's my... I need light. I can't see. I am missing a single sponge. Give me that. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. No sponge left behind. Okay, this doesn't seem like an area I want to be. Just gonna go down and go down. I got all my sponges? Yes, I have all my sponges. Can I just... Yep, that's gonna be better. You can't steal my sponges, Deltora. Banishment. Banishment! Stealing the sponges results in banishment. Sponge. Sponge. Come to me, my little sponges. I love my little sponges. Look at that. Where the fuck did we come in? You can't banish... Watch me. Where the fuck am I? This way? No. I'm a little bit confused. I'm just a little bit lost. Eeh. Water, be gone. Here we go. Is this the way we came in? I don't think so. I don't think this is the way we came in. Eeh. Sponged. Get sponged. Okay, we need to dry our sponges off again. Do we have all of them? All 57. Yes, we do. So the way... Huh? Not that up. Is it this up? Might be this one. This is why we brought ladders. Yeah, this feels right, I think. Yeah, this feels right. Yeah, okay. Sweet. Meow. Look at that. All right, let's try off our sponges and then... I need to look up the radius that a sponge absorbs water. Like, how many blocks will a sponge absorb if you place it in the middle? Sponge! Oof, popped my neck. Almost popped my neck. It was a little bit crinkly, but not quite crunchy. Wow. Look at us go! We got so many sponges! I love this. Love this game. Where do I put them? I guess I'll put them in here. I'll put them in here for now. For now, they will live in here. Sponge! Wonder how our grass is doing. How far is our grass grown? Okay, okay. Slow progress, but it's steadily making its way to the sheep. I went too far. The portal is right here. Why do I have a headache? Oh, my ponytail's a little tight. Let's just... There we go. That's better. I'm on the wrong side. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Wow. That's all of our sponges. I can't believe we got sponge. I love this. It's such a satisfying noise to dry out the sponge in the nether as well. It's just nice. Wow, look at me go. I got so many sponges. Alright. We'll go through the portal, and we're gonna need a fuck ton of sand. Let's see. Minecraft sponge radius. I'm not the first person to Google it. Up to 7 blocks. Okay, 7. 7 sponge. All right, we're gonna put our sponge away. And the good chest. Look at that chest. And now I'm going to show you guys a magic trick. You guys want to see a magic trick? Magic trick time. Bippity boppity. It didn't work. Hello? Boo! Bippity boppity boo! Now we got normal cows and mushroom cows. They're not naked. Get your mind out of the gutter. Let's go to the desert. Get some sand. How much sand should we get, chat? A little bit of sand. Well, just a little naked. I knew it would work. It just doesn't work with the baby ones. Look at us go. We're gonna get sand. Luckily, they live on a moss island, so they will be plenty warm. Moss. Moss? Moss. Moss? Moss. Moss. I like moss. They're not poor cows. They're just little guys. They're fine. They're fine. The cows are fine. Prepping for work? You have to work? Oh my gosh. All right. Have fun prepping for work. Quick, everyone call Delta a stinky while he's gone. He bullies me, I bully him. He's stinky. We're bouncing our way to sand. Bouncing our way to sand. Bounce, 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 bouncing our way to sand. Wait a minute. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Huh? Why did my throw not work? Hang on, hang on. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. What'd you do? Why are they gone? I was literally looking at them right now. Hang on. I was literally in the rewards queue to see if I could make it work. And you just make him go poof. Hang on, let's see. That's not it. How do I... Hello? Can I test it? Hang on. It should work. It's on. Right? Yeah, it's on, so it throws at me. Ugh, it has a cooldown. Hang on. It's broken. Does the little one work? Huh. What if I close it and then what if I close it and then I'm gonna reopen it. Close it, reopen. Close it, reopen. Because this one I can open after I start streaming. Okay, it's working. Maybe. And then still connected to Twitch. Should be here. I'll make it hidden for you guys. Connections? Oh, it didn't have a check mark for my connections. So, that's weird. It was literally working earlier. It was working earlier this stream. So I don't know why it disconnected mid-stream. Is it gonna work? I fixed it! I didn't know that was a thing that could happen, though. Where am I going? Following the torches. Sand. Sand. I fixed it. Yay! That's so weird, though. Well, at least it's all better now. All better. It's got hiccups, but they're quiet. Or maybe is it just the one hiccup? We're about to find out. Wow, look at me go. I'm gonna get some sand. Where's my sand hole? I should set my spawn. It's a pretty far away island to set your spawn for, but it's for safety purposes. We made it an unspawnable island for safety reasons. So since I'm going to be collecting just a little bit of sand, I'll set my spawn just in case something happens. Just in case. Emergency spawn has been set. It's all good. All set. All right. Wow, look at me go. Wow, look at this. Look at me. Gonna bounce around. Bounce around in the water. Alright, let's go to my sand hole. It's almost nighttime. Wait, do I have it on... Oh, okay. Well, doesn't matter. Oh, we left some sand here. Look at me go. Look at all this sand. Look at me breaking the game again. Oh, I don't have many torches, do I? What happened to all my torches? That's so crazy. I guess I just don't have torches right now. Hang on, I'll break this one so it's in the right spot. And then... Okay, that didn't work. Alright. Alright. Do this. I was too fast. I was trying to be a little bit too zooming. A little bit too... Look at that. I don't know how much sand we need. So this is by 5, so we'll do... Oh, come on. Let me break my sand. And then we'll do this one. And then we'll do this one. And we'll do this one. And then we'll pick them back up. Because I only have 5 for some reason. Only got 5 for some reason. Are you serious? Give me my sand. What is going on? Sand. Alright, this is something I need to do off stream. This is an off stream sand situation. Off stream sand situation. Back I go. Alright, so they will do it 7 by 7. So I can make smaller squares inside the big squares that are 7 by 7 and yeah, it'll work. We got this. It's going good. Everything's good. Everything is under control. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. I don't really have a plan for what I'm doing, but everything's fine. Wow, look at me bounce. Look at me go. Wow. Wow, look at those mushrooms. Wow, why are they on the roof? Wow. It's like they knew we would get onto the roof. They knew we would. So they made it so mushrooms would spawn up here. So we would have something, even though there's like nothing. Wow, a snack. I got Cheez-Its. I got Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its. Wow. Cheez-Its. Just Nom 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 nom. I don't know if you can actually hear me eating them or not. Probably heard that. I moved the bowl they're in. Eat me a couple of the Cheez-Its. I want some ice cream. That's what I want. But that's so far away. I'd have to get up to get it. I have to get up to get the ice cream, and I don't want to get up. The Cheez-Its are white cheddar, because those are like top tier Cheez-Its. I like normal Cheez-Its too, but I got white cheddar Cheez-Its. Delicious. Wow, look at me go. Wow. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying that. Actually, hang on. Hang on. I'm gonna do a thing. I'm not telling you what it is until I start to do it. A thing? Wow, what's she doing? Wow. We're gonna play the game Counting with Sylvia. Our favorite game. Don't you love it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, if that is... This dirt is gonna become wall, right? Yeah. So... 1, 2... Or should I put the sand? Yeah, no, the dirt will become wall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is where our thing needs to be. Ah, excuse you. Hang on. So if I get rid of this. Thank you. And I start to do this. This is where our sand will be. Wow, look at all that sand. I'm just gonna put down the sand that we did get down. Wow, look at the sand go. Wow. Okay, this one isn't gonna be all the way full, I don't think. Because we don't have enough sand for that. Wow. I'm just that good. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so that's not too bad of a square off, and then we'll go to the bottom, sponge our way up, and then... Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? Did I glitch? Okay, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minecraft! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes! Though we are getting ready for monument. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because our sponges will do a 7 by 7. So if we count to 8, then we'll make the sand go. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. And then this will just be kind of like a half. We're probably going to have a little bit of issues when we get to the actual monument part. So we might have to flatten out the monument top bits or something. I don't know. Because of sand. We'll have sand issues, I think. It'll be fine. Everything is going to be fine. Alright. So we'll do rows of sand that way. And then I'll make markers for these spots, and then we'll do rows of sand that way. I think I'll collect the sand off stream, because otherwise y'all are gonna die of boredom. But yeah. I think this will work out. We got a plan. We got this. Thank you so much for the follow, Arky. Thank you. I still can't believe that we have 2 ocean monuments by our Mushroom Island, so we can just make one our storage room and the other a farm. And then a geode. That's crazy. That doesn't look like a Mushroom Island because I mossification it, but if you look there at the right, it is in fact originally Mushroom. So cool again. A pet chibi dino. Oh my gosh, yes. Isn't like a sniffer. That's right. It's called a sniffer or something. We haven't found one of those yet. But it would be cool if we did. It'd be really cool if we did. From the add-ons? You mean mods? Oh, well. We're not playing with mods. We're just doing vanilla. They put them on Xbox. Add-ons. On Xbox. Add-ons. Boop, 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 boop. Let's do with us animals a little bit. I don't know what add-ons are. I don't really follow game news much, so we got some normal cows and our sheeps. Whoa! Hi! The coral is the only thing I'm interested in, but I don't have any. You know what? I want his llamas. I want his llamas. I need a boat. Because I can't have his llamas be mad at me. All right, we got this. So in case you want free leads, but you don't want to murder, you can use a boat. You can use a boat. And then you can just kidnap llamas. And now we got 2 llamas in a boat. You can't hear you? Hi, Andy. Hi. That's my friend. I know him IRL. Thank you for the lurk, Ketzer. Thank you. He is baffled by how I just trapped his llamas. I don't think he appreciates it. Get fucked. They're my llamas now, bitch. And we got 2 more free leads. And since they're in the boat, they won't despawn. We need to get some name tags. I don't have any name tags. So now we have 4 leads. Very nice. I got a lot of stuff in my inventory. Put that away. I need more. Where are my sticks? Here they are. I'm gonna need some more sticks. Let's make a little bit more sticks, and we'll go this way, and we'll go bop, because I need more torches. Let's just use those. Yeah, okay, that's a good amount of torches. We're good now. All right. Woo! Our farms need tending to. All right, let's do that real quick. I feel like we're making some good progress in this world. I mean, we've been getting incredibly lucky. I will admit that. We've been getting incredibly lucky with everything that we found so far. So that is absolutely insane. Honestly, I think it was a good thing that we didn't find the cherry blossoms right away, because it made us explore more. So, like, we explored more than we would have if we had found them. So it's a good thing that we didn't find them immediately, because, wow, that just instantly does it. Sharp, wow, that's crazy. Okay. So not only did we find a mesa and ice and all that good stuff and a desert, but like, we're set. Bamboo. All right. We probably don't need to cut that down again anytime soon. I'm just gonna tend to my potatoes, because that is our main source of food at the moment. Potatoes. Though I don't love how we have to use, like, coal or something to cook it. I guess I could just be using wood. If we had dripstone, we haven't had dripstone yet. But if we had dripstone, I could make a lava farm, because we have 2 buckets of lava. And then we could just use that for fuel. Here, this one is done. Plant that there and there. I guess I forgot to replant the seed. There we go. There we go. Here, I'm gonna make this one. I'm gonna make blocks again, because we don't really need them all undone like this. There. Wrong one. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Look at that. I don't wanna take that down right now. So we're making good progress. So here, let's get a better view at our thing. All right, our thingamabob. We can't even see it all, because it's just that big. So it's gonna take a while, but I'll sand it all up, and it's gonna be a really cool storage room. I guess we have to decide: do we want a bridge, or do we want a tunnel that goes under the water? I think a tunnel going under the water, like we start to go like down into the ground. Like maybe we'll just like do something on the side and it'll go down into a tunnel, and it'll be like a glass tunnel to get into our storage room. That'll be cool. I think that's the way that we're gonna do that. Yeah. So cool. We made so much great progress. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I do think we're going to wrap it up here because I'm feeling I'm feeling done for today. That's just how it goes. Some days we have longer streams, some days we have shorter streams. But that's just how it is. I'm feeling a little bit eepies, a little bit tired. Save and quit. Let's see here. Let's see who is streaming. Do I have any friends who are streaming? Go to my following page. It doesn't look like I have any friends who are streaming at the moment. That's a little bit sad. Okay, so we'll go to browse. And we'll go to Minecraft. And then we'll type in VTuber and find a new VTuber friend. No VTuber friend. No VTuber friend. Who is this new friend? Let's see. Their model's cute. Whoa, the rigging is kind of tripping me out, though. I can't watch that. You see, guys, if you get a VTuber model, do not skimp out on the rigging because you can have immaculate art, but if your model looks like it's wigging out with your movement, you're just gonna have people leave. I can't watch that, unfortunate, because their model's really cute. Let's see. The hard thing is that I like to look for small streamers, but it likes to recommend me the big streamers. Like, I'm not gonna raid someone with over 300 viewers. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy in a world that's too big for them. And I just want to meet another little guy. Oh, they look cool. Let's see. Oh, wait, they don't... That's not English. I can't... I only understand English. I'm a dumb... Wait a minute. Nope. Okay. For a second, I thought I saw one of my friends, but it's just someone who uses the same model as them, and that's going to get confusing. Oh, this person is small and cute. Small. They're in the nether. Okay, let's scare them. We're going to scare them. Are you guys ready to scare someone? We're going to scare them by raiding them. Alright, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream today. Whether you lurked or chatted, or maybe you did a little bit of both. If you're not in the Discord, you should join the Discord, because we have awesome people, awesome information, just awesome everything in general. Here's our follower raid message, so make sure you get that copy and pasted. And if you're subbed, you can copy and paste this magic. Or this message, and with the magic of the forest, it'll turn into emotes. Look at that, look at that, look at that. We got 13 viewers. Wow, 13 viewers ready to raid. That's so exciting. And if you guys don't see that little raid notification at the top of your screen, make sure you refresh your page. If you're on a browser and if you're on the application, make sure you refresh. That way you get those extra channel point bonus for raiding out with us, and maybe you'll get to meet a new friend because they got a cute model and they're a small streamer like me. So let's go and support them. I'm very excited, very excited. And as always, I will see you guys next time. I think we're straight. Yeah, tomorrow. We're going to see tomorrow because I have a stream schedule. Bye-bye. Wait, I didn't do it to the... Oh, Stelvac. You come right when we're ending. You can raid out with us. Raid out with us. Grab one of the things. Grab one of the things. Grab one of the raid messages and raid out with us. Stelvac, get extra channel points. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.